Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another Kano Tryharding Modern. We're going to do something a little bit different today and play some Gruul Midrange, the premier Blood Moon land destruction Ponza deck of the format. Now, I've not played this deck in a very long time, and I've not actually seen it a lot up until recently, which is kind of interesting to me. So what does this deck do? This deck basically uses Utopia Sprawl and Arbor Elf on turn 1 to accelerate into some of the best 3-drops on the format on turn 2, not the least of which is Blood Moon. We also have Bone Crusher Giant, which also acts as removal. Card's pretty good. We've got Pillage. We can blow up lands. We can destroy artifacts. It's very important versus a lot of decks that have greedy mana bases. We have Seasoned Pyromancer, which is an excellent way to go wide on board, get better cards in your hand that is currently empty, etc. And Colossus, God of Destiny. It's a great Grave Hate spell, occasionally a great clock, occasionally gains you life, and occasionally produces more mana. Then we have Bloodbraid Elf to hit our most powerful 3-drops as well as make a 3/2 haste creature. And Karn, Great Creator plus Wishboard in the top end, basically. Other than that, we have Lightning Bolt as our removal spell of choice, Renin 6 to constantly draw us cards off of our fetch lands, thinning our deck, etc. Versus aggro, we have Kitchen Finks, which is a card that I think should see more play, but is also just pretty good. It's a 3-mana 3/2 that occasionally just gains life and blocks a couple of times, and it's good. Otherwise, it's an additional creature. Flame Slash for additional removal, and then Karn Wishboard. Not quite the same as Tron Wishboard, but we have Engineered Explosives as removal. Wormcoil Engine versus aggro and burn. Sky Sovereign, just occasionally you need a threat that lightning bolts. Ensnaring Bridge for aggressive decks we don't want attacking with Primeval Titan, etc. Torpor Orb, also good versus Titan / some decks play Reclamation Sage, and this is a good way to protect your artifacts. Liquid Metal Coating for the land destruction combo. Relic of Progenitus for Grave Hate. Pithing Needle for Planeswalker threats, other activated abilities we can't deal with. Grafdigger's Cage for more Grave Hate. Elixir of Immortality versus Mill / gaining life versus burn. And Tormod's Crypt for more Grave Hate. And without I think that's everything I need to talk about for a deck tech, and I'll see you guys in round 1. Alright, we're on the play for round 1, which is where this deck wants to be. Unfortunately, we have no lands, so this is a mulligan. This, on the other hand, I think is much better. We will keep. I'm going to put back... I think I'm going to put back Wooded Foothills. Yeah, we're going to put back Wooded Foothills. We'll lead on Snow-Covered Forest and Utopia Sprawl. Naming red. Pass the turn. And we'll see whether Blood Moon or Pillage is the way to go here. Opponent leads on Prismatic Vista. So, play Wooded Foothills, fetch, get a forest, and we'll play Blood Moon. I think Pillage, after our opponent fetches a basic, is going to be better, because then we deny them the ability to play their dual lands. Opponent plays Ascendant Spirit, so this might be Snow Stompy. Play Stomping Ground as a mountain. Pillage their basic land. Play an Arbor Elf. Pass the turn. Opponent goes to combat and attacks. I am going to trade because that seems like a pretty high value creature. We untap, draw Stomping Ground. Play Stomping Ground. And Bloodbraid. I knew keeping this threat was important. Bolt my opponent. Land a 3/2. Go to combat and attack for 3. Opponent goes down to 13. And we get him. Blood Moon plus Pillage versus the Snow deck. Seems pretty good. Now, I may want Flame Slash here if this is, in fact, Snow Stompy, but we might just be set up as good as we can be here. So, I'm going to run it back. Alright, we'll be on the draw this time. This hand seems okay, so we'll keep. Opponent leads on Snow-Covered Forest into Boreal Druid. We draw Colossus. So, Windswept Heath, gonna get us a Stomping Ground. Play Arbor Elf. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps, they play a Swamp. And they play a Yorn, God of Winter. So this is the non-budget Snow deck. Seems to be what I'm looking at. Normally I think I would play Colossus here. But I think the play is Bolt Yorn, untap here, Stomp Druid, pass. They rely on getting Devotion to Snow pretty quickly. So if we can limit their ability to take advantage of their count, I think that's probably the best place for us to be. I don't know if they play counter spells or not. Verdant Catacombs, I'm going to get another Stomping Ground because I do want double red. And we either play Colossus or we play Bone Crusher here. And I think Colossus is better just because of the possibility of a counterspell. This is much harder to deal with on board. Okay, opponent plays another Yorn. We untap. We draw Lightning Bolt, which is amazing. So, exile Verdant Catacombs, add red, bolt Yorn, cast Bone Crusher, pass the turn. Yeah, we can't really let them have a mana doubler. Opponent plays Merit Lage's Slumber. Hopefully we can close the game out before they can turn that on. We untap. We draw Wooded Foothills. So Colossus, gonna exile Yorn, drain our opponent, play Wooded Foothills, fetch with Wooded Foothills. Let's get a forest. I think we go Bloodbraid Elf here and just beat down. So we cascade into Seasoned Pyromancer, which I will cast. This should let us attack with Colossus as well, I think. Ditch our hand. Go to combat. Absolutely savage beating. Alright, opponent plays a Swamp. They would have to have a Dead of Winter here. Abominable Tree Folk. So opponent has a 6/6. They're going to tap Colossus. They get to scry. But we drain them and then swing out and they're dead. So we untap. We draw Pillage. Colossus trigger. Drain our opponent. Pillage the dual land. Then swing. And we get the match. I think that was as close to an ideal game 1 that we could have possibly had. In game 2, we just top decked really well. So I'll see you guys in round 2. Alright, we have no turn 1 accelerator, but we have good cards in hand. I don't know if that means I should be mulliganing or shouldn't be, but on the draw I feel like I really want acceleration. I'm going to mulligan and see if we can't get it. Alright, looks like we got it. And I'm going to put back Karn, I think. Okay, maybe Karn wasn't the correct choice, but opponent leads on Eldrazi Temple map. Well, we draw Karn anyway. Utopia Sprawl on red. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps, they play Urza's Power Plant and pass. We draw Colossus. So I think we play Colossus this turn. Unfortunately, we don't have a pillage for the temple. Opponent cracks map. Gets another Eldrazi Temple. They untap. Smasher would be a bad time for us right now. Okay, it is Smasher. They hit us for 5, we go to 13. We untap and draw Pillage. So we drain our opponent. Now I could go for a Pillage here. I could go for a Bloodbraid. Or I could just play like Seasoned Pyromancer. I think we go Bloodbraid. Because if we hit another double color-costed card, like if we hit Seasoned Pyromancer, then we turn on Colossus as a blocker. Alternatively, I can just go Pillage here. That doesn't really do a whole lot. I'm going to go with Bloodbraid. I don't want to play Karn until I can get something else off of Karn, too. Okay, we hit Utopia Sprawl. So play Utopia Sprawl, name red. Go to combat. We'll hit our opponent for 3. Okay. Opponent goes down to 15. They play a tower. They hit us for 5. We go to 9. Is this a Karn or a Ballista? It's a Karn. Okay, so opponent wishes. They get Basilisk Collar. We untap. We draw Wooded Foothills. So we get an extra mana here. Add... I guess it doesn't matter. Play Karn. Go to combat. Kill Karn. And I think we go get Ensnaring Bridge and play it. So play Wooded Foothills. Fetch up a basic forest. We'll wish. Get Ensnaring Bridge. Play Ensnaring Bridge. And then hopefully we can use our pillages to keep our opponent off of playing like an O-Stone or anything that could possibly kill the bridge. 3 mana, 4 mana. Opponent plays Karn. Again, they animate the bridge. And they have Dismember. That's pretty good play. So opponent goes to combat. They're going to kill Karn. Okay. We untap. Draw land. Colossus. Hit Dismember, so we drain them to 9. We have 3 on board, that'll take them to 6. We can play Seasoned Pyromancer and turn on Colossus to hit them for 4 more, and they'll be at 2. So if we can cast Pillage and then draw a Lightning Bolt, we win. I cannot cast Pillage and cast Seasoned Pyromancer. So we're going to go for the Seasoned Pyromancer play. Ditch Pillage. We get Blood Moon and Karn. Blood Moon seems like an alright play. That takes them off of playing anything except Basilisk Collar. I don't have Ballista, and I'm using all of my mana to play Karn if I play him. Although if I play Karn, they can't equip Basilisk Collar before attacking. I'm going to play Karn over Blood Moon, I think. And we're just going to uptick Karn to 6 so that one swing from Reality Smasher doesn't kill him. Go to combat. Attack our opponent and take them to 2. Is it better to do that, or is it better to hit Karn with one of them? I think it's better to hit Karn, or hit our opponent, because this way, if my opponent doesn't gain life, and Basilisk Collar is their only way to gain life, they die to Klothys draining them, unless they wish for Relic and crack the graves, in addition to doing something else that prevents them from dying. So opponent plays Ghost Quarter. They have to have something really good, and I don't think they can outright kill us this turn. I don't think they can, definitely not without playing the last Tron land. And opponent scoops. Nice. Versus Eldrazi Tron, I guess we're going to need Flame Slashes to kill Thought-Knot Seers. And maybe I cut like a Bone Crusher and an Arbor Elf. Try it like this. Okay, opponent is on the play. We've got most of what we'd want in a hand, so we're going to keep. Hopefully our opponent does not have a fast hand. They did keep 7. They're leading on a Tron land and map. Okay, we draw Blood Moon, so play Stomping Ground, play Arbor Elf, pass the turn. This will be a turn 2 Blood Moon, hopefully. Opponent has Temple, then passes. We draw Seasoned Pyromancer, so play Windswept Teeth, crack it, get a Forest, Blood Moon. Opponent might have to map for a Wastes, just so that they have colorless mana. They do. Okay. Opponent plays a Power Plant. They did not play their Wastes. They're hiding the colorless mana. We untap, draw another Seasoned Pyromancer, play Verdant Catacombs as a mountain, untap Snow-Covered Forest, play Bloodbraid Elf. We'll cascade into another Utopia Sprawl. Well, a Utopia Sprawl. Put it on the land, name red, go to combat. Opponent is going to dismember Bloodbraid. Okay. So they take 1 extra point of damage for the price of not taking any damage next turn. Now, from the way my opponent's playing, I think they have a Thought-Knot Seer, and if they do, they're going to take Flame Slash, because that is our only answer to Thought-Knot Seer right now. Okay. We untap. We draw another Bloodbraid. So I can either attack and see if I can bait them into a Lightning Bolt to kill their Thought-Knot, or we can play Bloodbraid. I'm going to cast Bloodbraid. We hit a redundant Blood Moon. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. It just shows the other card in exile. I was like, how did it skip over a Flame Slash? Alright, go to combat. Attack our opponent for 3. Okay. Opponent goes down to 13, and we pass. They untap. And they play an Urza's Mine. 5 mana for a Reality Smasher. Okay. Opponent goes to combat and attacks. I think I'm willing to trade Arbor Elf and a Lightning Bolt to kill Thought-Knot. So we block, untap the Forest, bolt Thought-Knot. We do lose 2 mana by doing this. We draw Renin 6. Okay. Then we untap. We draw Verdant Catacombs. So play Verdant Catacombs. Play Renin 6. Play Pyromancer. Discard Pyromancer. We draw 2 lands. Uptick. Pick up Windswept Teeth. Go to combat. Hit our opponent down to 10. Okay. Opponent untaps. They play a map. They activate map. They get their second Wastes and play it. No attacks. So we untap, draw Klothys, which is pretty good. Play Klothys, play a Forest, and honestly, I think I'm just going to start pinging my opponent. Pass the turn. We don't have a lot of lands in grave that we need to be picking up, so... Okay, opponent Warping Whales to make a Scion. They might have All Is Dust. If they have All Is Dust, then playing out Klothys was wrong. Okay, it's just an Endbringer. Nobody panic. Okay, we untap. Draw a Forest. Klothys. We will drain our opponent. Take them to 7. Play Windswept Teeth because our opponent knows about it. Go to combat. Attack with everybody. I'm not pinging the Scion first because if my opponent blocks with basically anything, I'm going to Renin 6 to kill it. Okay, so opponent has elected to take 2 damage here. Renin 6 down ticks to kill Reality Smasher. And we pass the turn. So my opponent can stop Klothys from being a creature by tapping Endbringer on their end step to kill Renin 6 on our upkeep. But that is not what they are doing. Okay, we are going to make Seasoned Pyromancer tokens on our opponent's end step. Okay, we untap. Draw Wooded Foothills. Awesome. Opponent scoops. Well, this deck seems powerful. I'll see you guys in round 3. Alright, we're on the play. We've got mana acceleration, and we have good cards, so we're going to keep lead on Windswept Teeth, fetch, and shock. Play Arbor Elf, pass the turn. So depending on what our opponent plays is going to determine what we play. I think Klothys is the play here. Blood Moon is tempting. Play Klothys. Opponent opts. So opponent could be Blitz, they could be Storm, they could be Through the Breach. Opponent plays an island, we untap. Draw Wooded Foothills. No reason to go to 5 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, no reason to go to 5 mana, I don't think, so we'll just drain our opponent. Go to combat. Attack them for 1. Opponent flashes in a Snapcaster and blocks. Okay. So play Wooded Foothills, crack Wooded Foothills, get a forest, and then let's Blood Moon. I just realized I did not get double red for pillage, so hopefully that's not important. Well, I can make red mana off of Klothys, I suppose. Okay, opponent plays a Steam Vents. We untap, we draw another forest. Exile Wooded Foothills. Add red mana. Play the land to play around, I don't know, Spell Pierce. Pillage the island. Okay, opponent plays Valakut Awakening. This is definitely very Through the Breach looking. They put a lot of cards back. Play Arbor Elf, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play a mountain. We untap. Draw Bloodbraid. Exile Valakut Awakening. Drain our opponent. Bloodbraid. Cascade into Renin 6. Uptick to pick up Windswept Teeth. And go to combat. Okay, opponent Lightning Bolts the Arbor Elf. Big swing. I should have actually untapped a land so I'd have access to the Stomp this turn. Opponent finally finds an island. We untap. Draw Verdant Catacombs. Drain our opponent by hitting this bolt. I should have hit the Snapcaster Mage so they couldn't do this. That was greedy on my part. So they kill Bloodbraid, which is going to lower our devotion. We only have 5. We can only bring it up to a total of 6. So Stomp Snappy. Play Bone Crusher. Play Verdant. Down tick on our opponent. Pass the turn. I did that wrong. I should have... If I was going to down tick... I was playing as though I was going to uptick Renin 6. And if I was going to down tick, what I should have done was down tick on the Snapcaster. Opponent plays Through the Breach. Attacks us for 15. So we have to sacrifice 6 permanents. Sack the lands, I guess. Take 15, go to 5. They shuffle their grave back in. We untap. Draw Bone Crusher. Exile Arbor Elf. Drain our opponent. Pick up a forest. Play it. Go to combat. Hit our opponent down to 2. But even Bolt Snap Bolt doesn't kill us. They have to have Through the Breach and another Emrakul. Okay, we untap. Draw Stomping Ground. Klothys exiles Pillage. And we kill them. Nice! The old get Armageddon / Emrakul and beat your opponent anyway. Oh, that's pretty brutal. I don't think we have any adjustments to make here. I think we just stay on this game plan. Alright, I kind of like this hand. We'll keep. No mana disruption, though. Opponent leads on Temple of Epiphany and goes Scrying. We untap, draw Stomping Ground, play Wooded Foothills, fetch up a basic forest, and Utopia Sprawl, name red. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps, plays a Riverglide Pathway. We untap and draw Bone Crusher, play a mountain, play Bone Crusher Giant. Okay, we get remanded. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play Cascade Bluffs. We untap and draw forest. Play a forest. Play Bloodbraid. Cascade. Cast a Blood Moon. Opponent mana leaks Blood Moon. Bloodbraid resolves. Go to combat. Hit them for 3. Opponent untaps. They play an island. We untap. Draw Bone Crusher Giant number 3. Play Wooded Foothills. Go to combat. Hit our opponent for 3. Cast a Bone Crusher Giant. Opponent has Cryptic Command. Probably counter draw. They untap, and they are passing. On their end step, fetch, get a forest, stomp, we untap, draw a forest, go to combat, hit them to 9, play Bone Crusher. They're going to Snapcaster Mana Leak here, which I did not play around because I didn't play a land. Okay. Play forest. I think we've got to actually cast Bone Crusher here. Pass the turn. Yeah, that would have been a lot better if I had played that land first. I didn't think about Snap Mana Leak, and I should have. Okay, opponent's going to Bolt, Bone Crusher Giant, take 2 damage. They go to 7. They play a Steam Vents tapped. There's a really good chance we get Emmercooled next turn. We untap and draw Windswept Teeth. Play Stomping Ground tapped. Pass the turn. No reason to give up our only clock here. Archmage's Charm, they draw cards. They untap. Okay, through the breach. Emmercool. Opponent attacks with Emmercool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Permanents we lose. Take 15, go to 3. Opponent loses Emmercool, shuffles everything back in. We untap and draw nothing. I'm going to go ahead and concede now. We'll just go to game 3. Being on the play should be a lot better because we tax our opponent's counter spells a lot harder. Run it back. I also misplayed there, so... If I had not misplayed, I would have had another stomp in hand and been able to clear the way and take my opponent to 2 and force them to have the bolt. So I possibly lost this match because of it. This hand is really risky without a second land. This hand is a bit risky without acceleration. I think I am going to keep it, though. We'll put Karn back. I'm going to lead on Stomping Ground tapped. Opponent mulligan to 5. They play a Steam Vents tapped. We untap. We draw Blood Moon, play Windswept Teeth, pass the turn. Opponent untaps, plays an island. Okay. On their end step, fetch, get a forest, and stomp them. We untap. We draw Wooded Foothills, play Wooded Foothills, fetch, get a mountain, play Bone Crusher Giant, pass the turn. I was going to say, they definitely have a counter spell. Do I care about whether or not I redraw this Bone Crusher? I don't think so. I'm going to put that on the bottom. Okay. Opponent untaps. They play Cascade Bluffs. We untap, draw Seasoned Pyromancer. In this case, we'll attempt a Blood Moon. They Archmage's Charm. Okay. They untap. They play a Riverglide Pathway. They pass. We draw another Blood Moon. If I play Blood Moon and they just have land through the Breach Emmercool, we're dead. So we are going to attempt a pillage here. Okay, opponent has Remand. We pass. I really wanted to draw a land and play Bloodbraid there. Okay, there's the 5th land. No Emmercool. We draw Stomping Ground. So Shock Stomping Ground, here comes Bloodbraid. Cast Arbor Elf. They opt in response. Creatures resolve, hit them for 3. Opponent might have Snap Opt or Snap Aether Gust, but if they do, they don't use it. Okay, on our end step, they Archmage's Charm to draw more cards. They untap. They opt again. Then they pass. We untap. Draw Forest. Go to combat. Attack for 3. Opponent has Snapcaster Mage, targeting Remand. Then they trade. Okay, second main, play a forest, pillage the island. Opponents missed some land drops, so it seems like land might be kind of critical for them here. They Remand, then we're going to pillage them again, taking out their basic. Pass the turn. They did get to draw one more to try and hit the land. They shock Steam Vents. Pass. We untap. Draw Windswept Teeth. Play Windswept Teeth. Play Blood Moon. Opponent has Cryptic Command. I hate the textless commands. Okay. Because they don't tell you what they're doing on Moto. Let's go ahead and untap Stomping Ground. Bolt our opponent. Fetch with Windswept Teeth. Get another Stomping Ground. Seasoned Pyromancer to draw cards. Pass the turn. We got Pillage and Bloodbraid. But opponent, the longer this goes on, the more likely it is they have the combo. Literally all of their counter spells are just delay for them to try and get to 5 mana and Emmercool us, and I've dropped below 15 here. Okay. We untap, draw a forest, play a forest, Bloodbraid, cascade into Blood Moon. Okay, so this is probably like Snap Cryptic, counter Blood Moon, tap our guys. Could just still be counter draw, because they could just be digging for Emmercool. Snap Archmage's Charm. Okay. That tells me they either have a Lightning Bolt or they're drawing cards right now. Okay, they're drawing cards. Blood Moon resolves. Bloodbraid resolves. Go to combat. Hit our opponent for 6. Opponent blocks Bloodbraid. Takes 3 and goes to 7. Okay, they kill Arbor Elf. Take 2. And go to 8. Then we pillage their blue mana. But if they've got the combo, we're just dead because they've made one too many land drops. If I lose this round, it's because I misplayed in game 2. That I lost this round. It's not because of whatever happens in this game. Opponent has another island. We untap. Draw Utopia Sprawl. Not what I want to see. Go to combat. Hit our opponent to 6. Utopia Sprawl. Name green. Pass the turn. Okay, opponent Valakut Awakenings. I don't know how they don't have the combo yet. Opponent has drawn 3 more cards than we have across 10 turns. No, it's more than that, because Valakut Awakening put cards back. My opponent's drawn like 10 more cards than we have across 10 turns, casting Opts every step of the way. So I don't know how they don't have the combo yet. Prismari Command, they're looting and making a treasure. They're opting, they play a land, and pass. Holy crap. Okay. We draw Verdant, go to combat, hit our opponent for 2, they go to 4. We are now in the stage of the game where our deck is quite bad, because we keep top-decking lands and Utopia Sprawl, which is a virtual land. Okay, opponent Prismari commands again, this time for some reason doing 2 damage to us, rather than making another treasure and having double blue. But they're looting. They discarded Spire Bluff and Lightning Bolt. They've got to have it at this point. They play a land. They don't have it. We untap. We draw Bone Crusher. So go to combat. Attack for 2. Opponent Snapcaster Mage. Prismari command. Then they block. Okay. Go to our second main. Play Verdant. Stomp our opponent. I slightly miscalculated how much mana I had this turn. I don't know if it was better to Seasoned Pyromancer or play out the Bone Crusher. I think it's better to play out the Bone Crusher, because if they, for some reason, still don't have it, even after all this, then they have to, they would have to remove it off of the board, and they can't with Lightning Bolt or Cryptic or Aether Gust, because if it hits the board, they just lose. So opponent is looting again, pitching 2 remands. Yeah, if they'd remanded there, they would have lost, because we would have just stomped again. Opponent plays a land. They have 2 cards left in their hand. Are they Through the Breach and Emrakul? If they are, they win. If they're not, I think they lose. Although they could, like... I don't know. I actually don't know. They don't have it? Oh my god. That is the unluckiest Through the Breach player I have ever seen. Like, look at him. He's drawing cards right now. I was like, where the hell was it? Because he only drew 900 extra cards. We should not have won that match. Well, we should have won that match if I played game 2 correctly, but we should not have won that match the way that I played that match. So, alright, well, I'll see you guys in round 4. Alright, we're on the play for round 4, and we would like to play first, of course. Not a bad hand, but no acceleration. Yeah, we'll try keeping it. I'm going to lead on Verdant Catacombs, pass the turn. Ah, it is Tron. So, get Stomping Ground. We untap and draw Lightning Bolt. Play Wooded Foothills, pass the turn. Okay, opponent cycles Star for green. And they Ancient Stirrings. They get a map. No second land. Okay. Fetch a forest. Stomp our opponent. They discard Ulamog, we untap and draw Utopia Sprawl. So play Windswept Teeth, crack Windswept Teeth, get another forest. Utopia Sprawl a forest, name red. Blood Moon. Pass the turn. That should slow our opponent down significantly and or indefinitely. Second Power Plant our opponent just drew. We drew Redundant Blood Moon. Now let's get out there for damage. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They're going to map for a forest. Okay. They play a forest. They Ancient Stirrings again. They find Tower. I could save Bolt for potentially a Karn Great Creator, but I think we're just going to get in for as much damage pretty much as quickly as we can. Play Klothys, go to combat, hit them for 4, take them to 11. Because even if they play land and Karn, and then wish for Ensnaring Bridge, we should be fine. Opponent cycles Chromatic Star for green, or Chromatic Sphere for green, plays Chromatic Star, cycles Chromatic Star for green, plays Tower, Sylvan Scrying. They either get another forest or they get mine. They get mine. We untap, we draw Bloodbraid, and I think this game is over. Exile Sylvan Scrying, take them to 9. Play Bloodbraid, Cascade into Pillage. Yep, game's over. Cool. Versus Tron, no adjustments, run it back. We are on the draw, so we'd really, really like... Opponent reveals Gigantha this time around? Interesting. We cannot play this hand. We need turn 1 acceleration into something, and Blood Moon counts as a something. So we're going to keep this. I'm going to put back, I think, the second elf. Opponent leads on Power Plant into Sphere. We draw a Stomping Ground. Fetch a basic forest. Play Arbor Elf. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They crack Sphere for green. They play a forest. Sylvan Scrying. They get Tower. We untap. We draw Bone Crusher Giant. So Stomping Ground. Blood Moon. Pass the turn. Gotta hope that that slows them down enough. If they immediately have a Wilt, that's probably bad for us, unless we can Bloodbraid into something else. Opponent plays Tower, plays Sphere, cycles Sphere for green, plays a map. We untap. Draw Pillage. I'm very tempted to pillage their green source here, but I think playing Bloodbraid Elf is better. If they have a Nature's Claim, it's not, unless we hit a redundant Blood Moon. We hit a redundant Blood Moon, then we hit our opponent for 3. Okay. Opponent untaps. They play a Power Plant. This is a really tough matchup for Tron, especially when they don't just have the nuts. We untap. We draw a 3rd Blood Moon. Go to combat. Hit them for 3. Play a Stomping Ground. Pillage the forest. Opponent going to crack map, probably to get a forest. They do. Okay. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play another map. They play a forest. Alright. On their end step, untap, stomp our opponent. We untap. Draw Wooded Foothills. Play Wooded Foothills. Go to combat. Hit our opponent for 3. Play Bone Crusher. Play Tertiary Blood Moon. So we don't get Force of Vigored or anything like that. They get Mine. Watch them have Echoing Decay, or what is it? The Destroy All Enchantments with the same name. They play Karn, Great Creator. They wish. We have 8 damage on board, and they're getting Tormod's Crypt. I think that's to prevent Colossus damage. We draw Karn, Great Creator. We have 2 mana. Can we do anything with that 2 mana? I can get Liquid Metal Coating, but that doesn't do anything. I can't get any artifacts with activated abilities. Well, I can, actually. Go to combat. Kill Karn, hit our opponent for 4. Untap our forest. Play Karn. Wish. Get Coating. Play Coating. And we'll stop on our opponent's upkeep and shut off their forest. They have Nature's Claim. Okay. That makes sense. But we can't get O-stoned. Opponent plays land. Is this a Worm Coil? It's a Worm Coil. We untap. Draw Clothis. Do I have anything that could get around that Worm Coil? Not really. I think I just wish for Ensnaring Bridge at this point. Play Clothis. Play Ensnaring Bridge. Pass the turn. Because we can't have them gaining life. And they would need to have some pretty good cards to get out of this before we draw a Lightning Bolt. We were 1 damage off of lethal on the turn we attacked last, which is kind of frustrating, but at the same time, understandable. Okay, opponent puts Gigantha into their hand. We untap. Draw Wooded Foothills. Exile Nature's Claim. Play Wooded Foothills. Kill Tormod's Crypt. Pass the turn. We just need to find 1 point of direct damage. So Lightning Bolt or Bone Crusher gets the victory for us. Okay, opponent wilts our Ensnaring Bridge, so they will be able to attack. But if they do attack, we just don't block. Opponent Ancient Stirrings. They get a Power Plant. They play the Power Plant. We untap. We draw a 2nd Colossus. Exile Ancient Stirrings. Can't play this one out, so... Actually, hang on. I don't have a way to stop them from blocking with it. This only does damage to creatures or planeswalkers. Uptick Karn to 3. So if my opponent attacks, we chump with exactly Arbor Elf, just to prevent damage to Karn. But like my opponent, in order to get out of this, has to have land Ugin. They Nature's Claim their own Worm Coil engine. They didn't even attack first. Why didn't you attack first? There was 6 more life you could have gained. And now you're just dead. Wish. Get Sky Sovereign. Play Sky Sovereign. Kill the life-linking worm. Go to combat. Kill our opponent. They might have actually been able to survive that with the Nature's Claim play had they attacked first. Oh, we're 4-0. I'll see you guys in round 5. Alright, round 5 on the play. This hand appears good, but if we don't draw a land, we're probably screwed. Versus a Luris deck. If it's Mill, we might be having problems, but if it's Death Shadow, this hand isn't very good. I'm gonna mulligan. This hand is way better. I will keep. We're gonna put back a Wooded Foothills, and we will start Windswept Teeth, fetching a Forest, and playing Arbor Elf. We're gonna hide the fact that we are Ponza by pretending to be Heliod Company. Alright, they are Burn, and they bolt the Dork. We untap, draw Seasoned Pyromancer, play Wooded Foothills, fetch with Wooded Foothills, get Stomping Ground, then Utopia Sprawl here, name red. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps, plays a second Inspiring Vantage into a Soulscar Mage, and passes. Bolt the Mage. This could be Magecraft. It doesn't have to be Burn. It appears to be Magecraft. Okay. Well, we got rid of a Mutagenic Growth. We draw Windswept Teeth, fetch a Forest, Bloodbraid time. We wheel into Arbor Elf, play Arbor Elf, get a 3/2, go to combat, hit them for 3. They go to 15, untap. They play a Mountain, they attack, will chump, Manamorphose. They might full price a Light Up the Stage. They put Luris into their hand, okay? We untap, we draw Blood Moon. Blood Moon is pretty important, especially if they just tapped out and don't have a second Manamorphose. Hit them for 3, take them to 12. Blood Moon, pass the turn. Because if they don't have a second Manamorphose, they can't play Luris. They hit us for 1, Light Up the Stage. They hit Swift Spear and Crash Through. They play a Sacred Foundry, play Swift Spear. Okay, they're saving Crash Through for their own turn. We draw Wooded Foothills, play Wooded Foothills, play Seasoned Pyromancer. We draw Seasoned Pyromancer and Stomping Ground. Attack for 3. Opponent takes 3 and goes to 9. They Crash Through to draw a card. They are representing a lot of damage this turn, depending on how many free spells they have. Manamorphose, so they can replay they're going to play Luris and then replay Bauble. That's pretty good. Boros Charm to give double strike. Never mind, we never stood a chance. Okay, so they are Prowess, Magecraft, whatever you want to call it. So that means Flame Slash is in, Arbor Elf, and I guess, not a Seasoned Pyromancer, like a Pillage out maybe? Try it like this. Alright, we'll play first. Okay, I will keep this. It's a little bit underpowered, but we'll lead on Forest, Utopia Sprawl, name green, pass the turn. Opponent plays Inspiring Vantage into Swift Spear. They play a Bauble. They play another Bauble. Crack Bauble, hit us for 3, we untap, they draw. We draw Bloodbraid. Play a Mountain, play Moon. I could have tried to go for a Bolt there, plus another Utopia Sprawl or 2, but I think the Blood Moon is technically better. I'm not sure by how much, if at all. They hit us for 1. We untap and draw Wooded Foothills. Play Wooded Foothills. Play Bloodbraid. We'll cascade into Renin 6. Play Renin 6. Bloodbraid lands. Uptick. No targets. Go to combat. Hit them for 3. They go to 17. They untap. They play Sunbaked Canyon, put Luris into their hand. They hit Renin 6 for 1. They Mutagenic Growth to make it lethal. I don't know if I agree with that. We untap and draw Wooded Foothills. So Utopia Sprawl, name green. Utopia Sprawl, name red. Go to combat. Attack for 3. Take them to 12, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play a land. They go to combat. And they don't attack. We untap. We draw Bone Crusher Giant. Let's go ahead and stomp. They have Mutagenic Growth. Lightning Bolt. Play Bone Crusher. Go to combat. Hit them for 3. Okay. They're at 7. We're representing lethal on board. They got to do something. Manamorphose into white. So probably play in Luris. And they could replay Swift Spear or they can replay Bauble. They replay Swift Spear. We untap. We draw a second Blood Moon. Go to combat. Attack. Okay, opponent chumps, takes 3. Play another Blood Moon, pass the turn. They untap. Attack us for 3. They're going back up to 7. They play Soulscar Mage. And they replay Swift Spear. We untap and draw Renin 6. Go to combat. Attack for 7. Opponent chumps the Bone Crusher, takes 3. Play Renin 6. Shoot our opponent down to 3. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. There's a decent chance we just die to a whole bunch of prowess triggers. Okay. Opponent replays Swift Spear. They attack Renin 6. They go back up to 6. We lose Renin 6. We untap. We draw Bone Crusher Giant. So go to combat. Attack for 7. They are going to double block. Okay. We'll kill Soulscar. Opponent takes 4. And we stomp them. Nice. The original plan was to stomp Lurrus there, but I guess I should probably be playing Finks. I think Finks is better than Pillage. Pillage is only good if my opponent is getting stuck on mana, which means they're getting mana screwed anyway. Blood Moon has some utility, keeping them off of white for Boros Charm, Lightning Helix, any Magecraft creatures. Alright, this hand is not amazing, but I think it does technically work, so we will keep. Opponent leads on Mountain, Swift Spear, hit us for 1. We draw Windswept Teeth, so Forest, Utopia Sprawl, name red, pass the turn. Opponent plays an Inspiring Vantage, another Swift Spear, hits us for 2. Draw Arbor Elf, play Forest, play Blood Moon, pass. Opponent untaps, plays Bauble, cracks Bauble, plays a Sunbaked Canyon, puts Lurrus in their hand, and hits us for 4. We untap, they draw a card, we draw Karn. So play Windswept Teeth, play Arbor Elf. I don't know if it was correct to discard... It was probably correct to actually discard Arbor Elf there. But I think I'm going to play Seasoned Pyromancer, and we're going to discard Pyromancer and Bone Crusher. Okay, Finks is good. Pass the turn. I want to get up to a couple more mana so that we can Karn and get Ensnaring Bridge, and then we're probably fine. We can just wait till we get Klothys and drain them. Block and chump. Okay, they have Lava Dart for Elf, which sucks. We untap. Draw another Arbor Elf. Play Wooded Foothills. Oops. If I want to play the Finks this turn, I can't play the Arbor Elf. I'm going to play Finks because Arbor Elf would just get Lava Darted. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play Bloodstained Mire. They attack. Chump and block. Okay, they have Mutagenic Growth. This is good. We're wasting a lot of their resources right now and gaining a bunch of life. We untap. We draw Seasoned Pyromancer, which we cannot play yet. Okay, play Karn. Wish with Karn. And we can either get Grafdigger's Cage or Ensnaring Bridge. My opponent is holding Lurrus, 2 unknown cards. The odds that they can kill us this turn are pretty low, so I think we go for the Ensnaring Bridge play and play Arbor Elf. Pass the turn. If Karn survives this attack, we can go get Grafdigger's Cage as well. His opponent Lava Darts to kill Kitchen Finks. They're going to attack and kill Karn. This is fine. They play Sacred Foundry. They pass. We untap. We draw Stomping Ground. So play Stomping Ground. Play Ensnaring Bridge. Play Seasoned Pyromancer. Double Bloodbraid. Not exactly what I wanted to draw, because I want to empty my hand, but the Seasoned Pyromancer makes it difficult to do that. Okay, they don't attack. We untap and draw a Forest. Play a Forest. Play Bloodbraid. Cascade into Klothys. Perfect. Then we Bloodbraid. Cascade into Renin 6. Okay. Then we're going to downtick Renin 6 to ping our opponent. Pass the turn. The opponent needs a Braid or Shatter Spree to get past that bridge, which they don't have yet. We draw a Forest, exile their Bauble, play a Forest, make tokens, Pass the turn. I guess I could ping them, but I'm not going to. I should have upticked Wrenn and 6, though, to at least give my instants and sorceries that I eventually, hopefully, will draw flashback. So the way this is going to go down is either we are going to completely drain our opponent out of everything, or my opponent is going to get a really good, like a really good Manamorphose crash through double strike combo with like a Rip Apart or Wear and Tear, Fragmentize, or something for that Ensnaring Bridge. Those are the two ways this can go. And the longer this goes on, the harder it is for us to for them to kill us because we're gaining life. But the more power they can have on an eventual combo. So they Rip Apart to destroy Blood Moon. They play a fetch land. They crack Bloodstained Mire for a Sacred Foundry tapped. They're going to Lightning Bolt to kill Wrenn and 6. But they can't attack. So on their end step, let's thin our deck. Get some Stomping Grounds. Get some tokens. We untap. Draw Utopia Sprawl. Opponent has a path. They do have a path. Okay. So they path Colossus. We get a mountain. No Colossus trigger. Utopia Sprawl here. Name red. Pass the turn. It'd be super nice if we could draw Karn. A Bloodbraid to an extent would be good. Okay, opponent fetches up Sacred Foundry. They untap, but they still need like Rip Apart and a whole bunch of stuff to turn on prowess to kill us. They cycle Sunbaked Canyon. If we draw another Blood Moon, they'll have to have another Manamorphose in order for the combo to go off. I know it's not necessarily like a combo, but I refer to it as that because they're effectively gonna kill us in one turn when they do. Play Wooded Foothills, pass. Opponent untaps. They can't attack. Crack Wooded Foothills. Get a Stomping Ground. We untap. We draw Seasoned Pyromancer, which to an extent is good. Play Seasoned Pyromancer. Draw some cards. Bloodbraid Elf and Colossus. Play Bloodbraid Elf. Cascade. Hit Utopia Sprawl. Put it on the forest. Name red. Oh. Let Bloodbraid resolve. Play our other Colossus. Pass the turn. Okay. Opponent untaps. They draw. They play a Wooded Foothills. We untap. We draw Bone Crusher Giant. They're going to path Colossus again. Well, there goes both of our ways that we generally win through Ensnaring Bridge. Get a forest. Stomp our opponent. They're holding Lurrus, so there's no reason for us to stomp a creature that they would buy right back with haste. 1 mana is not going to make that much of a difference, I think. Okay, they untap. They pass. We untap. Draw land. I could, I suppose, attack with the 1/1s. There's no real harm in doing that. Watch me need exactly that much toughness to survive, and I'm throwing it away here. Opponent chumps and chumps. Then they take 3. And go to 5. So they are a stomp and a bolt away from dying. Okay, they play Lurrus. Because now they recognize we could attack with 1/1s. On their end step. Fetch. Last land. We untap. Okay. We draw a land that doesn't produce mana. Pass the turn. It's not often you make it to turn 15 versus Magecraft. Oh, this is super awkward. Opponent has something else to play. Okay, it's a Soulscar Mage. I mean, if they just amass a critical mass of prowess creatures, we could be in huge trouble. We draw a land that doesn't do anything. Pass the turn. Why don't we have a Walking Ballista in the side for Karn? They play another Soulscar Mage. We untap. Draw an Arbor Elf. Play Arbor Elf. So many dead draws. We have so many live draws left in the deck, too. Opponent finds a land, finally. Yeah, they're either waiting on removal for Ensnaring Bridge or, like, the Trample cantrip. Okay. Blood Moon actually sort of helps. Blood Moon. Opponent cracks Wooded Foothills to thin their deck. They're going to 4. Alright. They untap. I'm really glad they don't have a Mishra's Bauble right now. We untap. Redundant Blood Moon. Play it. Pass the turn. Ultimate Standoff for Trophy. Trophy Edition. They have Manamorphose. Oh no, they're going to Manamorphose into double white and then like rip apart, and swing, and we're going to be so screwed. Clever Lumimancer. Okay. Are they just trying to get cards out of their hand? Wow, alright. We untap. Lumimancer can actually attack. That is worth noting. Okay, we finally hit Karn, though what we do with him, I'm not sure. I mean, we wish, obviously, but what we grab, I'm not 100% on here. We could get Engineered Explosives. Take out all of the 1-drops, but then they just lure us them back. I could get Elixir of Immortality, but then I'm going to draw more lands. I could get Grafdigger's Cage, or Sky Sovereign, so that they can't do anything out of the grave. Okay, we're going to wish. And I think I'm going to go for Engineered Explosives and just kill... I mean, I kill all my Utopia Sprawls and my Arbor Elf by doing that, but it takes them a few different turns to rebuild, I think, is the play. So, play Engineered Explosives. Cut our mana in half. Oh, there's no reason to do this now, actually. It's not like they have Krosan Grip or anything. So the absurd, crazy plan might be something like Engineered Explosives, blow up all 1-drops, Relic, exile everything in the grave, and then like wish back Engineered Explosives, and I can't even put it on 3 because I used all my Utopia Sprawls on red. I probably should have put one of them on white or something like that. And the other option is we just finally draw Burn and kill our opponent. Okay, opponent plays a land and is now passing. Really wish we had a Walking Ballista on the side, though I'm not sure if it would actually be good in this deck in the average case. We draw another Karn. Play Karn number 3. Wish with this Karn. We'll get a Relic of Progenitus. Then we blow up all 1-drops, which is a lot. Play Relic. Cycle Relic. I suppose I could just draw up to 3 as a way to attack for lethal. The danger was that my opponent had stuff that could attack before our stuff could. Come on, Lightning Bolt. Renin 6, I'll take it. Because we could put them into bolt range with this. Shoot him for 1. F6. F6 through my opponent's turn. Opponent Manamorphose into white. Leon and Light Scribe. Soulscar Mage. We untap. Opponent Lava Darts Renin 6. Prowess triggers abound. Lava Darts Renin 6. Okay. We've got to have a Lightning Bolt somewhere in this deck, right? We haven't used all 4 yet. Bolt. Flame Slash. Nice. Alright. Let's go ahead and wish with Karn. I think now is the time for Relic. Play Relic. I just need a Lightning Bolt. I just need a Lightning Bolt. Why is my opponent not dead to Lightning Bolt yet? They've been at 3 life and we've had untapped red mana for 10 seconds or more. Okay, they flashback Lava Dart. They kill Karn. They flashback Lava Dart and kill a token. Are they just trying to time me out? They might just be trying to time me out. But, like, we should just draw a Bolt and win. Alright, Relic finds us. Bolt! Lightning Bolt! Shows you can't stay at 3 life and expect not to die to lightning. Man, we were almost as unlucky as that Through the Breach player. And we got him. Man, it has been so long since we trophied. Finally. Alright, let's open these treasure chests quick. Treasure chest number 1. 5 play points, Annex and Cymede, and an Icy Blast. Treasure chest number 2. 5 play points, Corpse Augur, and Journey to Eternity. Treasure chest number 3. 10 play points, and a Cryptborn Horror. Treasure chest number 4. 5 play points, Josuves, and Needle Spectre. Treasure chest number 5. 5 play points, a Bog Brew Witch, and a Godless Shrine. Treasure chest number 6. 10 play points, a Quintorius Avatar, and a Increasing Vengeance. Treasure chest number 7. A Strixhaven Booster Pack, 5 play points, and a Meddling Mage. Meddling Mage worth nothing. Treasure chest number 8, is it? Pontiff of Blight, and 25 play points. Treasure chest number 9, 10 play points, and an Angel of Salvation. Treasure chest number 10, 5 play points, Tuvasa the Sunlit, and Skybind. Ooh, 7 tickets. Nice. And final treasure chest. We get 10 play points and a Research and Development, which was, for a long time... Actually, was it? I don't know if it was the only modern legal wish for a long time. But between it and Glittering Wish, there wasn't a lot that came after that. And it wasn't even really a wish, because it put the cards in your deck and not your hand. But, Gruul Ponza. Good deck. So, this deck is very good because it presents a clock very quickly while also disrupting your opponent's mana base. So, if you play Bone Crusher Giant and a Blood Moon, and your opponent has a single basic and you pillage it, you're going to win the game. That is one of the strongest interactions I've ever seen. Is Blood Moon, all your lands are mountains, but I don't even play red. Well, I'll play a basic island. Pillage, you no longer have your basic island. The odds that your opponent is going to draw another basic of theirs is very low in most modern situations. So, Blood Moon and Pillage, MVPs, I think. Clothis was also an amazing value engine. Seasoned Pyromancer drew us a ton of cards. Like, we had 15 or so cards left in our deck that final match. Karn Great Creator is excellent top end. We didn't even have to go for the freaking Liquimetal Coating, Infinite Land Destruction combo. And the only time we did, we actually lost it. This deck has an insane matchup versus Tron. It has a decent matchup versus a lot of slower decks. The Lightning Bolts and stuff can be very good versus Burn and Magecraft. Renin 6 gives you some extreme late game value if you can ever actually ult Renin 6. Bloodbraid Elf is a card that I always want to cast. It's pretty insane, even versus the Through the Breach deck, where we were pressuring our opponent's counterspells because we would get 2 casts a turn from Bloodbraid. That helps us get past Remand. A lot of our spells are not fun to remand. If our opponent remands Bone Crusher Giant itself, then we can stomp again. If they remand Bloodbraid, we're going to get another cast. All in all, this deck is very solid. It's a very tight list. We could have possibly 4-1'd if our Through the Breach opponent was a bit more lucky than they were. I think they were severely unlucky. I think we were pretty unlucky versus Magecraft in the final round there, just because we couldn't draw a Lightning Bolt. We drew like 30 extra cards and couldn't draw a Lightning Bolt. And there was a real risk of us dying, just from our opponent having like a Manamorphose double Rip Apart play. But other than that, I don't really have anything else to say, so if you guys enjoyed this content and you want to see more of it, please leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined, and remember you can follow me on Twitch, same username over there as you find me on here. I stream Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The last few times have been earlier than that, and I want you to know that you're all wonderful human beings, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye! Hey, just wanted to give a shout out to my patrons for the month of May. If you want to support my channel directly and have your name show up in this list, there's a link to my Patreon in the description down below. Thank you all.